you're going to have sexual thoughts. And in fact, you're going to have really intrusive thoughts and tempting thoughts. And that is a part of our human experience, right? Unfortunately. So we're going to have random thoughts pop in our head, or you're going to drive by that billboard and go, whoa, what was that? Right? Or, a YouTube video or Super Bowl ad. And just to acknowledge that that's going to happen. And that's actually not a reflection of who we are. To live out of a baptismal identity is to say, first and foremost, I'm a beloved son or daughter of the Heavenly Father with whom he is well pleased. And Jesus was tempted, and we're going to be tempted too. And we're going to have these intrusive thoughts. So even just accepting that, like that's going to happen. That's not on you. And a lot of clients that I've worked with that have pretty bad OCD with intrusive thoughts, a thought will pop up. And then what do? We ascribe meaning to ourselves through that thought, right? Oh, you just had a weird thought about kids. Okay, you might be a pedophile. And then that fuels the obsession, the fear, and then compulsive checking. So the acceptance is just say, hey, let's step back. Let's not ascribe meaning. And let's just say, yeah, that was a weird thought. Like, I accept that that was weird, and I'm going to come back to what I was doing.
Yeah, when we ascribe that meaning to a thought, it just gives it so much more power and power that it doesn't need to have. I've gotten some traction with clients over the years on saying something along the lines like this. Like we have like 100 trillion thoughts like a day. Like as people. Like we think like, oh, I have to go pick up, the mail from the mailbox. Oh, look at how dirty the sidewalk is. Oh, I gotta get, gotta read the newspaper. Oh, I gotta prepare dinner. That's like 10 thoughts and just going out to the mailbox to get mail. So you times that out during the course of the day. I mean, could you imagine if we ascribed meaning to those trillions of thoughts that we have? We would, basically drive ourselves crazy.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are doing that without realizing, right? That they have a thought and they think, oh, shoot, that must mean this. Like, I'm getting really tired of my kids today. I think I'm a bad dad. It's like, no, maybe I'm just tired and that's normal. I'm grumpy or I need food, right? But we can do that. So we can kind of suddenly take that self-critical perspective of ourselves, right? And that can fuel a lot of what we do, right? It can fuel a lot of fear-based decision making. I've experienced with clients too, and trying to figure out the best way to explain it. Something that JP2 really addresses. He describes that arousal in the body is a physiological response to something good. And so when we are experiencing any type of arousal, there's a reaction there to something good. Now, it could be a distorted view of what is good, right? So there could be distortions in what we're aroused by. But again, going back into acceptance, there's some good that the body is even acknowledging with with yeah, sexual arousal. And I think I want to say that because I've run into a number of people who are really disturbed and distressed. They have kind of a subconscious thought and then they experience some sort of arousal and then they're shaming themselves, they're critiquing themselves, right? They're demonizing themselves. So I kind of want to put that out there on this podcast, even that arousal itself, again, you're not entertaining something, but if that's happening, that is a physiological reaction to a perceived good, right? And so we can take time to even understand that and say, okay, yeah, am I attracted to a beautiful person, right? And is that okay? Yeah, I don't want to entertain a certain thought, but if that's happening, is that's okay, right? Like my arousal is good. Or if I feel like I'm aroused by something distorted, can I seek to understand that without judgment? Like, where is that coming from? Can I, without critiquing it, kind of shoving it down and, shaming it, how can I seek to understand that too?
Well, a big part of JP2's thought, not only is theology of the body, but if we had a Venn diagram, his idea of personhood is like directly kind of connected to his theology of the body, which is based on Catholic anthropology, is that our mind, body, spirit, soul are all connected. We're a unified creature of God. And so if we are aroused by something emotionally, it should show up physiologically as well too. And sometimes it's like a clear one-to-one connection. I see something that's arousing and I feel aroused, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I can cognitively and consciously understand that. But sometimes there is that more of like unconscious kind of arousal, and I think that's usually where like some good work can kind of happen. Like, let's break that down and give you some awareness around what was going on for you that day or that time of a week or what have you, what else was going on in your life, and understand that arousal and make sense of it.
And is there anything you would recommend if someone's experiencing a lot of shame, right, with what they're experiencing in their body, but also what's going through their head, to be able to navigate these sensations, really what they're noticing in a compassionate way?
I mean, I have a couple thoughts on this. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are as well. There's for men, there's some things that are like physiologically almost like out of our control sometimes, where it's like, all right, that happened. I don't know why, can't really make sense of it. Let's just chalk it up as being a man is like the best explanation. And so that can be a kind of a biological basis of behavior that can maybe take away some of like the moral shame that might be attached to that, artificially. And I would say the other piece is being able to then look at things kind of critically, as I was mentioning earlier, can be helpful in saying, all right, maybe you are feeding that arousal in an unhealthy way. And all right, I don't want you to feel shame about that, but actually a little guilt is maybe appropriate. So let's take a look at your behaviors that are feeding that emotion, and we could probably do some work on that area of your life, which will then kind of help you emotionally.
Yeah, that's good.